Today we are going over two games, in part to make up for the fact that we weren't streaming earlier today. And these games, I should say, because there will be two of them, should have something for everyone. If you like influential games, then you'll like one of these games. If you like going against influence, you'll like one of these games. If you like the new trend of playing like AlphaGo, you'll like one of these games. And if you like the basic series, you'll like one of these games. Might hate the other one though, but if you like one, cool. Is there a game with Mad Ajish? There is a game with Mad Aji. The Aji game is number 2. Aji game is number 2, because if you're going and playing against, or if you're playing with the whole new like alpha strategies, and you're going to be needing to know about Aji, because that's like crazy. It's crazy play. It's crazy play. So yeah, you will like number 2, so that's cool. The first one though is basic game. Park is a name I have seen around before. Didn't think I'd be going over 2 of his games in one of my lectures though. I mean, it's kind of like one of those players, like, you look at a game like, yeah, that's kind of interesting. But don't usually peg him as someone to really follow and be interested in. Apparently that's changing this week. Might want to clear the schedule? I might want to clear the schedule. That's a good point. There we go. So, on that note, gotta like the upper left approach, inviting anything and or not approach, but the upper left corner being taken, inviting anything and everything. Could do diagonals, could not do diagonals. 3-4 facing empty air. Now it is up to white to decide what we're going to do next. If you play a 4-4 point, then you've got potential for micro and mini Chinese variations, unless you pincer or approach those. So we take a 3-4 stone, so we're going to go ahead and deny that. We are not going that way. So black just encloses. As you can tell, probably not this game is the one where we're going to see the new alpha stuff. This is definitely not new alpha. I mean, if this had been like up here after some like approach over here, then it would be. But this is a little bit more old school, and that's completely fine. Now, for this, we are not going to be splitting. That's kind of fallen out of style, because you can just like approach and get a large knight, and get an extension here, and then you got like a really good top side, and a large enclosure here. That we're usually approaching. Lots of variations being welcomed here. Usually only 1 or 2 if you split. That's kind of nice. Here, for example, we could pincer. That's fine. Could pincer wide. That's fine too. We could back off. That'd be great. The only move you probably really wouldn't want to do here... Well, let me ask you. If we are playing locally, in this upper right-hand part of the board, what is one move, I can think of 2 of them, that would be bad here? There's really only 2 of them that I can think of that are like, you know what, no, you really shouldn't be playing those. You know what those are? The kick is one of them, yes. The kick is one of them. What is the other? Kick and attach, yes. Some people try to argue that the attach is fine. That will not be me. But here you can see we're just going to go ahead and settle while black is doing something on top of the board. I don't really know. Or R18. Okay, I meant, like, technically true. 1 space high is not bad, actually. I just don't prefer the 1 space high, but it is not bad. So yeah, we back off here, and once again, many different options. You can go into the corner. You can back off. You can back off high. I mean, whatevs really. This game, white backs off. 3 space. Black approaches low. Why wouldn't pincer be best, given extension from the enclosure? Well, you could. You could. Let's pick eeny, meeny, miny, mo. So we could play this way. Only downside of playing this way is it kind of feels like we're compelled to play here again. We don't really want to. We don't want all of our stones on one side of the board, but if we don't play here again, the shoulder hit here is what can, not, no, that is something that I would have misclicked in the game probably. The shoulder hit here is a little bit severe in terms of your hopes and dreams. Like you might have thought about trying to develop this area, but you know, the shoulder hit is still there, so you're not going to be able to do that again. Now you might say, okay, this is fine, and this is seen in pro games too. I'm just going to play here now. The shoulder hit is gone. True, but you're an extension with an enclosure now, and that's pretty much all we're going to be for the moment. So we're letting our opponent potentially like start to develop the left-hand side and have potential on the top. Could come after you and develop there. I mean, it's a thing. I've seen some Japanese players try to do it and then just try to build again, but again, that's not Sente. We can actually shoulder hit this because the worst our opponent can do is something like that. And if we're playing this variation again, this feels little concentrated. Little bit. Ew. So yeah, you get the idea. So do that, and that, and that. So far, technically basic-ish in that we're doing, you know, corners first, but not why I picked this game. Those of you who like basics, hang on a moment, you will be interested. So here, this is like almost completely standard. Anytime I see someone approach low, I'm like, they're gonna pincer here. They're gonna pincer here. I mean, I like it. I've liked it for a long. I liked it before it was cool. Damn it. But yeah, it's one of those nice things because you can play here and subtle. You can play here and be a jerk. In an emergency, there's an attachment still. I mean, I like it as black, and I like it as white because we can maybe develop here. So that's kind of nice. It is not very severe. Further away from a stone you are pincering, the less severe your pincer is. That is very, very true. That is very, very true. But it's just one of those things that are saying, you know what, like, I'm gonna kind of like, just go do something else. And like later on, we might be able to go and do something like, we could do something like this and easily grow the left-hand side if we want to. If our opponent leans on us, we can go ahead and settle that pretty easy too. We're not making it too easy to settle. I mean, this kind of thing would be a little bit too easy because at this point, you're actually offering a perfect base to your opponent, which is odd. But yes, we see this. Now remember, I said basic, so we're not getting into the Taisha. It's simply going to take territory. And more territory. And more territory. Before we jump. I pointed this out a couple of times before, I will do it again. Making sure that you extend these 3 stones before you jump. Very good idea. If we decide to not do that, we might encounter a slight glitch in the matrix. Like we want a Hane here, right? We really do. But you've just given away your corner, because you might be saying, no I haven't, stupid, I can Atari that. And be like, no, stupid, you really did, because if we go all in, then we're surrounded at this point. Because we can't Atari there. And being locked in the corner like this, not really that enviable. So what do? Do you just do something like this then? And just say, okay, your corner's gone? Not very cute. There's no reason to say such things. If we just extend one more time, then these sorts of shenanigans aren't dealt with, right? There's no tricks or cuts or crazy things there. Just got enough liberties. By exactly one, we have enough liberties where nothing has to happen. That's gonna make us mad. So be aware of that if you're gonna play this variation. Do extend the 3, that's all you have to know. Extend the 3, then jump, not 2, or badness. So, alright. We got that. Now here's the thing. Some of you stronger players may have played this variation in your games before, and one of the reasons that first clued me into this game is white's next move. When you play this variation, if you've ever played this variation as black, where was white's next move in your game? Where does white play next? Assuming you've played this before in your games. Maybe you haven't. It's entirely possible that you haven't. But there is somewhere that I see played a lot when I play this as black. And I think to myself every single time, you know what? That's just too soon. It's too soon. It's too soon. This. Right here is technically a thing that exists in our world. And I've seen a lot of players grab it immediately. Immediately grab it for a larger corner, right? To ensure that later on we don't get this into a possible co. Okay, that's not a co, but you get the idea. Or just backing off. So it's a bit of a different thing, right? 29 is it? No, shoot. 27. Yeah, there we go. So like right here, bit different than like right here, right? Bit of a difference. So I see a lot of greedy players like try and take that, and it just seems too soon, you know? A little bit too soon, a little bit too soon. So when white took this, I was curious how the rest of the game's going to pan out. Because don't make no mistake, this is a huge corner now. I mean, this is now worth like how many points? Like when you're going over 20 points for a corner, that's a big corner. And keep in mind, white also has Comey, so we can add, you know, some more stones on, some more points onto the board. So if this is like 31-ish points, and the corner in the upper left is probably going to be worth about 10, now we're at 41. The left-hand side will probably be worth at least 5, maybe more, depends on how this is handled. The number is getting really, really close to 50 at the start of the game. It moved 30. That feels uncomfortable. So how is the rest of the game going to pan out? Oh, black approaches. I do want to point out, though, since a lot of people said pincer, 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 pincer. You could pincer. That would be fine too, because we can put pressure on the stone. There's this still, and there's this. You could go pincer into this. Try to over-concentrate. Not sure how this one would be played at this point. To be honest, not sure how this would be played. It might actually... Maybe they'd make this exchange first, and then go back and play here? It's hard to say. It's hard to say. What we can say is black got Sente, and, you know, growing a bit, taking away the pincer. White identifies influence has been obtained by the opponent. Well, not obtained, but really given away. So we're shoulder hitting a low stone to get in the middle. We're getting dem middle points. Make it hard for our opponent to grow. And this is where we see a very, very basic style of play. We can argue that we've seen it from C14, but he got Sente and he protected a cutting point. He's not attaching. He's not pincering. I mean, the ladder obviously doesn't work anymore, but not necessarily the end of the world, because we could deal with that, right? We could still deal with that. But he's identifying a problem, removing said problem. If we're going to use this influence, we can't leave weak points behind like that. Otherwise, that's just Aji to reduce the influence, right? So, alright, he's being nice and solid. White is turning, trying to take a lot for himself. But the corner's fine. Can come out, can go in. A lot of good things here, so he reapproaches. Just following up, because that's not been identified as not Sente. Simple Jishki. Simple follow-up. And now our corner's being taken away. Boo-hoo. Alright. Corner's being robbed from us. That's a little bit sad. White attempts to connect up. Thank you, Lost Jack, with discussion 2 months in a row. Welcome back to the best Go club on the internets. Hope you enjoyed today's lecture. But this is an interesting, very interesting situation here. A lot of people would Hane and connect and just keep giving your opponent like Sente moves against your corner. Are you alive? Are you dead? Who knows? Here, it's getting uncomfortable. We get now. Simple. Opponent is trying to make us scared of getting 2 stones. Taken away. So we try and take away his connection instead. Keep in mind, if you have Atari's here, we can always Atari back and then like take some stuff. So it's okay. Connection. Defense against the push and the cut. Or just the cut rather, I guess, in this case. Into shapes. So a little bit difficult to track that. But we're essentially, we fought for Sente a little bit here, which is a little bit non-basic. But predominantly, we're just coming out and getting shape. That's the long and short of it there. White's connecting up his group, because black's getting influence. Now let me see how greedy you guys are. Where do you want to play next to further take advantage of this glorious influence of yours? Where as black do you want to play? Any ideas? Let's see if anyone's ambitious enough to be Park Jinsol. Hey, Gleagle. K16. What's K16? K16. That's not really influency. That's more of I'm gonna rip your face off-y. That's kind of not where we are right now. R6. Ooh, we want to do the pincer. I don't like that pincer. If you want to pincer, freaking pincer. Nice and strong. Be like Grau. I pincer you. You die. You leave a lot of room, and then, like, right now, you left enough room for a 2-space extension, right? So, if the pincer is, like, your your shtick, then you don't want to leave this behind. It's too easy, too easy. It's also a little bit too small, because this is more territorial. This is expand corner. This isn't influence. Someone say it already? Pink Yoshida! Pink Yoshida and Gleagle, yes. By Joe, I think you've got it. We are going to go influence. And that means influence. Now, we're not playing here, by the way, because of a couple of things. One, there's the connection under here, which is a jerk. And two, I mean, this isn't really influence when you're actually pushing your opponent into your influence. That's the kind of opposite. We want to try and develop the influence, not encourage them to reduce all of our influence, right? So, kind of got to think about that a little bit. So we're not doing that one. We're doing this one. We're going all about the influence, and our opponent is settling. Hats off to him. Probably forcing move. We got to connect up our stone. That's cool. And then 2-space extension. Alright. Little tougher decision now. But Pink Yoshida and Gleagle will get it. I believe in you. How do we continue our influential play? Yeffington says cap it again. Really? It's already alive. I would be cap it again. What do you think? By the way, am I failing here? No, chat is on screen. Okay, good. Do Pink Yoshida and Gleagle have opinions? Cap it to build. 10-10 would do it again. Lies! Lies! Such a bad move. Such a bad move. But yes, Yeffington is correct. I'm gonna go ahead and cap it again, because we're developing that influence, yo. And our opponent, he seems to be just going after all the territories. It's like, gonna pincer here. Oh, hey, look at that. I can live back there in the corner later on. Gonna live here for the moment. Taking advantage of some cutting points. Don't mind me. You scared yet? Think you're gonna die on top of the board? We continue to read out a little bit. We're actually fine, right? Because if we take, then we're good. We're good. We could Atari, but we're not going to. We're going to play here. Does that mean that this can die? Yes, it can. But this is worth more than this. Right? So it's good. Which is why when we play here, we have a fairly good idea that our opponent's going to do something else. And he chooses to do this one. Trying to like get in the Atari and then the Atari to surround. So we see what he's up to. So we Atari here first. Now we're just going to go ahead and protect ourselves. And protect ourselves. Do these two stones get killed? Maybe. Maybe. Again, protecting shape, not even trying to hang on to the top. We're not being greedy and trying to like juggle both at once, because that's usually how you wind up with nothing. So I got a straight exchange. Top for some right area. And now white comes in. What do we do now? This is how we decide if we are good at using influence or not. White has a ton of territory. Solid points. Bottom, remember. Now a bunch of top dead stones. The lower right-hand corner could be potentially a Ko for life or something along those lines. A lot of stuff for white right now. K4. Trying to just seal that off. It's tempting. It's tempting. F13. That's very, very aggressive. Very, very aggressive. You're in the neighborhood. You're in the neighborhood. So here's the scary thing. Here's scary part. If we don't reduce this, it's possible that our opponent will get, what line are we on? 10, 9, 8? Might get 8th line while this is still open. Scary. A little scary. A little scary. Right? So we're just going to go ahead here, threaten to cut it off, and get in reductions. No pulling out this stone ever. So we just secure ourselves. Nice, simple play. Time to poke up and see how much white or how much black is really trying to get here. Play the Hane. Looking for some more forcing moves. So we can poke into the middle again. Doesn't look like it's gonna be worth anything, right? I don't know. We'll have to see, man. We will have to see. What can this group do? Now this, of course, had to be played, because if we'd like to be like, boop, I'm coming in, then our opponent could make us unhappy. Because suddenly, like, what's going on here? This isn't really what we wanted to have happen. And now we're, like, running away with our group, it looks like. And the top's being destroyed, and it looks like stones are dying. It's a mess. It's a mess. So we are going to protect, which allowed us to Hane. Now we're trying to keep our way in, which blacks I don't care about. White's trying to come out now. Having a mild disagreement on who gets to come out. A very mild disagreement. Very mild. Very mild. That had better be alive. Otherwise, all of these stones are dead and black's middle is completely gone. Aji. Aji obtained. Now remember, he blocked this, well, not remember, I didn't mention it yet, but he blocked this way because of this. Right? These 3 stones are about to die if we play this way. Now it'd be kind of huge. So he blocked this way to defend against that, and shenaniganery happening here. But now there's a Ko, which, in true basic-like faction, we're just going to give up, because screw Kos. And now the corner's gone. Okay, that's fine. We have Sente, so we're just going to keep the center now. Corner for center. White does not Hane, because this is a real thing that exists in our world. If we want to get cut, whoops, sorry, wouldn't do it yet. Now we would. That better demonstrates the problem. We can't Atari down, because the Atari leads into an Atari, right? So all we can do is jump. Black gets to push. Yes, 3 huge corners. We're going over 2 games today, Gleagle. And that's all we're doing. Tries to come in. Asks if he can live in the corner. White says, you better be joking. It's like, nope, I'm really curious. Can I live here? It's like, no, you can't. It's like, really? It's like, really? You can't live here? Are you sure? It's like, yes, I'm positive. You cannot live here. Well, what if I play here? Looks like we're getting a lot of room up there. Doesn't it? Still being denied. And we see the true face of the beast. We're looking after cutting points and Aji. 6 in a row? So how? This way? Because it looks like that's dead. Right? And this isn't Sente? And we've got throw-ins. Right? I will grant, if we had this, and this, and this, we'd be okay. This way we'd be fine. We can almost live, though. That's the scary part about this. We're almost alive here. Which is how these cutting points are coming in. Because we almost have a way to get that in Sente. Right now we're getting it in Ko. So maybe we're alive. So Ko. Ko is good. Black says, tell you what. You can have your top if I can cut off your center stones. And apparently White's not down with that idea. Backs off. Now, many of y'all will be tempted to just take the stone right now. But not Park. Park is like, you know what? Let's go for all of it. Resuming Ko. It's like, I'm just going to keep poking at you. Hello, the integral. And back to Ko. Again, he's fighting a crazy, crazy Ko here. Like, he could have just said, you know what, I'm just going to live right now. But he's like, no, you know what? What if I try and rip your face off and eat it? It's like, you're not technically alive here. So we are playing basics, but basics is kind of turning into a monster. He has a lot of territory, don't get me wrong. This is huge. The middle became enormous. And he had a clear way of living up here, which I think would have been in a pretty good spot. But still, it's hard to resist that call, that urge, you know? It's like, let's go for more. So back to Ko. It's like, I've got threats. I've got threats. Ouch. That's now alive. That's now a living thing. That's now a living thing that's pissing us off. Because you can see he's again going for it all. It's like, don't mind me. I'm just trying to kill you. So we have to live and make our 2 eyes. So we just lived on the top in Sente because White got surrounded. That's crazy that happened. Now we're just going poking at endgame stuff. Making sure there's no Ko here. Because remember, we discussed earlier how there's this shenaniganery, right? He's getting rid of that. White's like, but I'm in the middle. That's worth something, right? Black's like, no, respond to me. It's like, okay. I love how he's just, like, completely getting rid of the Aji from all of the places. I am completely in love with this really, really basic idea that we're in a comfortable position. Let's just look and see where the Aji is, because we just saw we just saw what Aji did over here. Aji did things that I'm pretty sure are illegal in most countries to the upper left-hand part of the board. So we are going to make certain that that's not going to be a thing. What's about the L13? What is L13? What is L13? L13. Oh, that's not actually a problem because we just go ahead and nose it, and then it dies. So white comes out. Black's like, yeah, that's about all I need. It's about all I need. No coming in for you. Alright, that's forcing move, sure. Again, endgame. Again, endgame. This way white can't push again. Because then the connect and then Atari, then you're screwed. Same thing here. It's going to go ahead and nose it. Get a little bit of reduction in, a little bit of reduction in, a little bit of reduction in. But this game is over. We're getting in all of the endgame we can. All of the end. Oops, sorry, my bad. Trigger happy. We poke it first, so there's no extra points there. My bad. Asking questions like, can I cut your face off? Answer to that is apparently no. Got 2 stone Atari, which is nice. Got to take 2 stones in Sente, which is nice. Threaten to take 2 more. Very nice. Again, some pokes. And right now I am just kind of flipping through this very quickly so you can see the end of the game. Because this is pretty much over now. I thought it ended by resignation though. Did it go to counting? No, this does end in resignation. I'm confused. Why aren't we resigning yet, sir? Hello, Mr. Maker. And that's the last move of the game. So I thought this was pretty basic because we saw someone go for influence. We saw them go consistently for influence, and that was really, really cool. We can see how that happened. We also had a little bit of a dash of just a tiniest dash of aggressive play in the upper left to kind of spice up our palette a little bit in this game. So we got a little bit of lot of stuff. Tengen, yes, actually, they're mocking you. They played all around Tengen. But like I said, we're going over 2 games today, both from the same player, Park Jinsol, and I want to say both the times he's black. We're about to see black, again, Park Jinsol, same person that we just looked at. Also, again, as black, tackling some AlphaGo-like ideas from a professional 9-dan, an older professional 9-dan, apparently, that is trying to do some of the newer stuff. So, once again, opens same exact way as everything else. The 2 top corners, both players saying, play wherever you want, man, I don't care. Again, same opening as last time. Grabbing the 3-4 point. And once again, same thing. 3-4 point, not 4-4, denying the Chinese variations. Very likely. In this game, though, white breaks from, or black breaks from last game and takes a small nice enclosure, leaving his opponent to throw down with something new. He's going to go ahead and take the 2-space high enclosure for himself. Thank you very much. Now, this is interesting to me because I tend to be a little bit uncomfortable with this as white, or as black rather. So to see the 2-space high as white is interesting. But alright, we're going to approach. White backs off. Very territorial. We're getting enclosures. Very tight enclosures, I might say. So white is a crazy AlphaGo player. Doesn't it look like it? Doesn't it look like it? He's got 2 space high. Question is, does he follow it up with AlphaGo-like tendencies? This is regarded as too slow, and we get the extension from both corners. So here's a question for you. Like, maybe I'm wrong. You guys have actually probably looked at more of AlphaGo games longer than I have. So here's a question. If you thought AlphaGo was going to be like playing this game, where do you think good old Alfie? Where would Alfie play next? Why didn't they name him Alfie? That's so cute and adorable. Like, how could you hate on AlphaGo if he was called Alfie? N16. White is legendary. Yes, I have been looking at White's games on and off since I was a Q player. He's been around a long time. Yuffington says attach somewhere on the right. So that's what I thought. That's what I thought too. Right? Like something like this. That's in line, right? With like with what all the cool kids are doing. Thanks to good old Alfie. So we've got 2 space high. We're extending as far as we can. Black's responding. White's just like, give me all that good stuff. And now here's where things would start. Here is where things start to happen that would make me uncomfortable. Pink Yoshida is like, we need to get into the bottom of the board immediately. He is growing. I've seen this before. I will not be fooled. He's trying to grow this area. And we are going to reduce the area. But Black is just like, okay. I dare ya? This one I would totally be on board with. Like, I'm a fan of this move for growth purposes. I mean, this is an interesting one too, but it invites influence to be given away. So okay, we're just gonna live in Gote in the corner now. Don't mind me. D18's a little strange, yeah, but I love the consistency. I love the consistency with it. Like, he's playing a territorial game, right? And he ain't fooling around. Upper left, upper right, lower right, we're going after territorial games. Alfie only plays influence against these weak humans. Alright, so we're playing territory. So, here's the thing that none of you are going to get, just so you know, but I'm going to tease you and give you hope. How do you... No, I'm not going to say that. As Black, what do we play next? Because we can clearly see that there's a strategy being employed here. I can begin to put my finger on the strategy. It's something to do with, I don't know, maybe the middle? Maybe the middle? C3? Redmond says gotta play territory. Well, I mean, statistically speaking, if not statistically, but normally, if someone's playing influence, you want to play territory, not try to out-influence a person who's gone influence before you. The reverse of that tends to be also true. If someone's playing territorial, and you're not already playing territorial, trying to use that to develop something is usually a good thing. So, yeah, I know you guys are all over the place, right? Yeah, split the left side, sure, makes sense. That doesn't seem insane. Go ahead and probe the corner. Doesn't seem insane. D10. I mean, yeah, all of these are very interesting. Yeah, like I said, none of you are going to get it because it seems like a crazy move. So here's Black's move. And my fear from this would be we're attacking one stone that doesn't really matter right now. Like, what? What? Where? What is the plan? For starters, what is the plan here? Give away more influence? Because if that's the plan, oh boy, if that's the plan. That plan's going smashingly well. That plan is doing work. So here we go. We're just gonna keep pushing and cut off a group, I guess. The alternative, of course, was to just keep giving this up. But that's a lot of territory to give up if we're like gonna go at 5th line solid like that, right? So we're resisting it a bit, which gives us a weak group. So it's like, okay, we're going to attack now, but we can't, because the Atari here kills us. So we cut it off in Gote, which means our opponent gets to deal with the cut immediately. So that seemed easy to deal with. Anybody have a plan B? Anyone like Black's position? Anyone? Yes? No? Maybe? Because I'm getting slightly nervous for Black. B14. You want to Hane that. Plan B to resign. Okay. Well, no. Plan B, we have to attack that wall. Okay. We're attacking that wall. Got it. We're attacking the wall. There we go. We're attacking the wall. Maybe we can get shape here while we're attacking the wall. Sounds good. Nice, calm defense, because this is a small knight. Small knight can be cut. Bear that in mind. So Black has to like try to get into a not be cut variation. But this group is already fine, so White can get into a stealing all of the things variation. Black's coming out. Making our shape. Making more shape. He's cutting into White, so White ensures that Black can't just develop the right. And now he takes some solid territories. Got that solid territory. They're both kind of playing really safe, right? So Black gained a blob in the middle that has some semblance of shape. And he's got some solid points. Only problem here is White has Sente. And there are knights here. So White asks Black, where's your shape? Black says, when I kill you, I'll have plenty of it. Can't be cut off in the middle. That's not allowed. Otherwise we lose the game. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. We seem like we're okay here. Seems like we're still okay here. Seems like I misclicked here. So not really sure how that was supposed to turn out, but I get the feeling that this wasn't it. Like, if we get to save this group ever, then we can kill the inside. But we would need strength around here and saving the stone to do it, so it's possible. And Black, to his credit, admits, even though that's so unlikely that's going to ever happen, I'm going to make sure that the odds of that happening are 0, and I'm going to connect. That's really cool. I like that. He's not playing somewhere else thinking, the chances of that are slim. It's like, no, that's a possibility. I'm dealing with that possibility. I'm connecting. Because it could happen. So white uses Sente to reduce. Getting some more forcing moves on in. Before attempting to take the bottom of his territory, which is huge. Creating a cutting point. We could cut here now and try and obtain territory for ourselves. Cutting point here. So that's a good end game as well. Right. So, that's pretty nice. We've got a cutting point. We have Aji in the bottom. That was absolutely worth giving up Sente for in order for our opponent to try to seal off the 7th line. Right? That's a good exchange, isn't it? That white territory is frightening. Pink Yoshida. He smells what's coming up. www.aji.gov. Is that really territory? Is that really territory? So one of the reasons why I caution amateur players, it's like you might not want to embrace the way of AlphaGo and try it in your own games, because it leaves a lot of Aji behind that can be very, very tough to deal with, even in situations not like this. But here we are at a pro level, where white, who has my absolute respect now, because he's an older player, like we said. What was it, February 1st, 1953? Was that right? Yeah, date of birth. So he's 64 years old, right? Yes. No? Yes. No? Yes. I think so. And he's trying out the new stuff, which is so cool. Yep, ageism completely, 100%. Sorry. He's trying to show that you can, in fact, teach an old dog new tricks. And I'm down with it. But Park... What's Park's age? While we're at it, let's look at Park's age while we're at it. Park Jinsol. Can we find out his age? Uh-oh, I don't have a birthday on him. I'm afraid I don't know what Park Jinsol's age is. Sorry, can't tell you. Yeah, I can't readily find a date of birth for him. I think he's younger though. I'm pretty sure he's younger. He's not doing that. He's just doing the solid territory shtick. He's like, screw all of you old people playing these newfangled openings. In my day, we played solid and went for territory. You can't get me to play otherwise. He's 86? Thank you. Sorry, he's from 1986, not that he's 86 years old. So I think that's kind of cool. Let's see how this continues, shall we? Sorry, I lost my game record. There we go. So first things first. Severity begets severity. Alright, looks like no life in the corner. I don't know if I would even attempt to keep living after that. Like, I don't know. I honestly don't know if I would keep trying to live in here. I'm staring at this area and I'm like, you know what? We've got the detachment over here. But that's about as far as you get me to commit. That's about as far as you get me to commit on this one. But alright. Maximize that Aji. Oh, now we're getting into the attached to all the things. We have to create Aji. Trying to disconnect the two. Cross-cutting because we have no idea what's going on here. We're just trying to like shake something loose. Oh my god, he's like just like taking this old man and just shaking him until all of his territory rattles away. That's so mean. Park is such a monster. Alright. Looks like we're getting something in here. That right there is amazing. That's tough. There's now an Atari here, an Atari here. We have to protect the one over here. We have to protect that one. We got to. So now we have one eye, but one isn't two. One isn't two, and we're almost completely surrounded. So we're going to play here. It's White's deal. How is he going to do it? Alright. So we just need another eye. Who actually thinks in your own game, seriously, looking at this, you'd be like, I can make another eye in this position? Who actually thinks you could do that? No, one isn't two. One isn't two. I wouldn't live with this? Yeah. This is tough. You can play d4 and then you're fine. d4 isn't actually fine though, is it? Because you're not capturing anything. At most, you'd be trying to capture this area here while you're split again or something. So we go here, looking for a way out. He says no. Again, we're inviting as much cutting and craziness as we possibly can, because only through the use of Aji can we get life. He says, "No, I'm not gonna cut you. Do anything." It's like, all right. Can I make myself some shape here? It says no. Everything's fine so far. You're not alive. Like, are you sure I'm not alive? It's like, yes, I'm gonna poke that out, and now you're not alive. Ooh, but then he cuts. Oh shit! Then he cuts, and it's game over. Game over, man. We can't deny the eyes. Now, some of you are having trouble reading that out, clearly. So let's look at it this way. If we play here, that sucks. Right? So we play here. That still sucks. Because I mean, where do we go for the other? How do we deny all of this at once? Like, where do we play to even begin? I mean, we have to do something here, right? But where do we even begin? Where do we even begin to play? There's nothing here that's working. It's all crap. So yeah. Okay, the first game is possible to learn from. The first game, we saw a very, very basic way of playing where Black's just like, I'm gonna make influence now if it's okay with everybody. And you saw a great direction of play, you saw great consistency. But then there was this, and I wanted to show this off too, so he can like do either or, and I love players that switch like that. I like players that are like, you know what? We can play nice and solid basic games, but we can also throw down and be a crazy person. If it calls for that, you know? Teaches you that on basic... Okay, that's also good. I like that, Timothy. You don't put up... Yes, it's very tough to put all of your stones on or above the 4th line because it's not territory. It's, I mean, amateur play, you might get away with it because good luck telling an amateur, yeah, I would like you to invade this and live, please. Thank you very much. I mean, tough to go wrong in one wrong move, you're dead, right? But for players who can read, this space is a playground, and they're just going to keep playing in it until something breaks. So I hope you enjoyed both of these games. Park Jinsol, I'm going to be looking at more of his games, I think, because I like that he is an absolute well-rounded player. Or at least he appears to be. It's possible. It's possible these games were played recently. He's had a stroke of good luck where everything just came together. But how do you... I mean, it's tough. It's tough the way he played to do that, right? Because he played a T-space extension, or T-space corner enclosure, which by its very nature leaves Aji in the corner, right? By its very nature, the 2-space. This is not territory. So, I mean, you could try and reduce, but you have to play like a move on the 4th line or something. I don't know. It's tough. Yeah. Don't eat pizza again this month, Bats. Out of curiosity, where did that come from? Interesting comment. Thank you very much. I make no promises. Living small in the corner is a tough proposition. Right? Have I? The question is, do we have enough territory now, I guess? Yeah, there's no way I've had pizza 3 times this month. It's only the 6th. I had it Monday. Right? I don't know. Anyway. Question is, do we have enough territory at the end of this? Because there's a lot of territory here. And we have to defend, remind you. Because remember, this is a thing that exists still. And that corner is huge. And this is a thing that exists still. Why would you take this and not just crawl up the side? What do you mean? Not sure how you would just take this and crawl up this. You mean this side? Like go into here? Crawl up left side instead of living small in corner. It's not our choice, right? If we played here, then we're just kind of enclosed. So the question I think was asked, why didn't white just let him live small in the corner? Yeah? And the short answer is, if this territory vanishes, the heart of what white has disappears. Like, everything's built onto this. Get rid of this and there's just, like, nothing there anymore. I don't know. It depends. Like, if you take away the type of enclosure that he made, the entire game changes. But I do like the attempt. And it's certainly scary to play against. I just lost the game. There we go. And it's certainly scary to play against. Like, I would not be just inviting all of this. Because even the thought of how to reduce this is frightening. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed today's games, both of today's games. Hope you now have Park Jinsol in the back of your head when you're looking for games to review. You see his name, maybe you check out his game, see how he's doing. See what kind of game he's playing. Is he playing more of a basic game? Is he going crazy? Oh, I'm sorry. Don't look at what. Play B5 instead of D2. Sorry. I missed your comment. B5 instead of D2. Boop, ba-doop, boo-doop, boop. So instead of this, play what? Play that? That ain't gonna live. That ain't a thing. At most, you can do a 2-space here, and that's not gonna live. Even I could kill you here. Even I could kill someone trying to get away with that crap. It's like, no, I'm gonna eat your face. You're gonna like it. Maybe with some marinara sauce. Yeah, this is... I mean, at best you can do here, and that just doesn't live. So, I didn't ignore you there, Pokemonsta. So, like I was saying, hope you guys enjoyed the games. Hope you've now added him as a player to look at. Hope the guy becomes 9-dan eventually, but he's kind of getting up there in his age. I know, born in 86, but still, for a pro, I mean, it's kind of old. But then again, you know, apparently White, who's over 60, still got some fight left in him. So anything's possible. Anything's possible. I believe you can do it, Park. Just go and beat people. What else has he played lately? He's been doing well lately. Yeah, he wins a lot of his games. He lost to Cho Han a couple of months ago, though. He actually ranked up this year. He was 7-dan. He was 7-dan at the start of the year. In June, he was 7-dan, and then he ranked up. Interesting. Maybe his star is rising. Maybe something's clicked for him this year. I don't know. Yeah, maybe let's keep an eye on him, see how he does. He ranked up this year. I like. Anyway, you should hopefully be back Saturday because I'm moving in Friday, which means I should have everything settled-ish and at least enough to stream on Saturday. So you can look forward to that at our usual time. Wasn't Cho's chicken kind of old when he was peak? I guess so. So yeah, I will see you guys on Saturday. Take care, everyone. I should have pizza. Ha 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 ha.